Hey, how you doing? This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. And maybe I'm weird, but I like to listen to radio. And when the shortwave bands are dead, I like to listen to VHF and UHF. And there's all kinds of things on those frequencies. Now, granted, some of the police, fire, and EMS have gone digital in a lot of locations, mine included. So I have to use a radio or listen to a radio that's on the internet to hear my local fire and EMS. So that's how I get around that. But I also spend a lot of time listening to other things on older scanner radios. For instance, this one right here. Now, this was prompted by a couple of questions I got this past week about people had gotten or found an older scanner radio, and they plugged it in and turned it on, and they sent me an email. It's like, there's nothing out there anymore because it's all gone digital. Well, that's not true. That's not true. Depends on what you want to listen to. If you want to listen to fire, EMS, and police, and you live in a big city, like I live in the Tampa Bay area, yeah, they've gone digital. Pinellas County, where I live, it's all digital. So I don't have a digital scanner. They're about $400 or $500, so I don't have one. So I listen to, like I said before, I listen to them on the internet. Anyway, the questions were, what can I do with this older scanner that isn't digital? Maybe it's not even trunking capability. What can I do with it? I turn it on and let it scan, nothing there. Well, that's not true. You just gotta search a little bit. Now, it also depends on a couple other factors. Number one, where you live. If you live, say, in Alaska, activity might not be too active. Now, what I've heard, and I've got a person visiting that's living across the street right now from Alaska, because it can get they can get shut in because of the weather and stuff like that, they use walkie-talkies of some form to talk back and forth. So you could listen to those on your scanner radio. Anyway, so that's one thing. Where do you live? Now, like I say, if you live out in a rural area, you're probably not going to hear much on a local scanner radio in your workshop or whatever. But if you live in a slightly busy area, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff. And I was going to kind of touch on what's out there, how you can find it, and what you can do with those radios. Now, for instance, I have many scanners. I probably have over 100 scanners of all forms and fashions, except I have no digital scanners. I think I said that once. So here's one I do have, and I really like this. This is an older scanner, still available. You can see you can get one from Universal Radio for $99, but it is limited. It only, and most of these are 25 megahertz and up in bands, and this one you can listen to these bands, and typically they are FM. I think some of them are AM, not the medium wave band, but they're AM type of modulation. So here's some things that it does cover. It even gives you some ideas here of what's there. So you can listen to CB radio, you can listen to the ham band on 10 meters, although again that will probably be in single sideband, and this scanner doesn't have single sideband. And then there's a bunch of other frequencies, see down here, and it only goes to 512. So you're kind of limited in that you can only go to 512. But within these bands here, and let me see what kind of allocation it gives you, this doesn't list everything. There are other things in these bands, and it's not limited to just these bands. You can tune outside of these bands. This is just giving you some ideas what you can hear on these radios. I got this radio off of eBay for like $25. So you can get some fantastic deals on these other radios. Let me just go back to this page for a second. I have this one. This is actually a quite old radio, but it's now Whistler is now selling these, so you can get these used under the old, I think, Uniden name. Let me see if I can find a couple other ones I might have. These are fairly new radios here. Yeah, I don't see too many old ones. Like I've got, I can say I got over 100 radios, and I even have radios that are, now this is what you have to watch out for. Don't get an older radio that's crystal controlled, because that means you have to buy crystals for every frequency you want to listen to, and they're not readily available, plus they're quite expensive. So watch out for that. Let me just go to eBay here for a second and give you some examples. So hey, there's my radio I have right there. This is a brand new one, I guess, $87. And you can find a ton of, now this radio here is a crystal controlled radio. That's why it's so cheap. So that means you have to buy a crystal for each frequency you don't listen to. So don't, stay away from those. This is a Pro 46. This is a good old scanner radio. Matter of fact, in the time frame this came out, this was really popular, and the guy's selling it for $9. So you can pick up these things fairly cheap. There's one for $20. There's some more expensive. Now, I don't know why people put these Bowfangs out as scanners. They will scan like a scanner radio, but they're extremely slow. Don't even go there. Don't get one of those. I'm trying to show another example. This is another crystal controlled radio. Stay away from that. I'm trying to find one that would be kind of, well, like I say, this one, although these are all new because this one's still being manufactured. But you can find a lot of used ones. Let me see. I think there is, let me go to the top here. Is there, I thought there was, no. I thought there was a way that you could select only used. Yeah, here, right down here, used. We'll select used. That way, they'll be the older ones. Okay, so there's the ones that we've already seen. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but I just want to make a point of what you should get and not get if you want to get an older scanner radio. Trying to show a good example. The 404. I have the 404. This is quite old. Non-trucking. Most of these do not have single sideband. Even the more expensive, newer ones, they don't have single sideband. Page unresponsive. Well, that's not a good sign. Go away. There's another real old scanner radio. It's a Pro 2009. Pretty nice radio. That price is way too high. You can get these for like $25. Anyway, my point is, oh, there's one I've got. I've got two of these. These are really nice scanner radios. They're trunking radios, so they will do trunking. This is what I used for many years until Pinellas County went digital, and therefore, stop telling me what. My internet must be really sucking. Okay, let's get back here. Gosh. Now, what can you listen to? Especially if you get, let me go back to the top here, or no, back to this one. Especially if you get this scanner used. I like this because it's had this clock in here too. it can only go up to 512 megahertz. And a lot of people say, well, everybody's gone they've gone to 800 megahertz band. And even the ones that are not digital, they're up at 800 megahertz. Well, there's plenty of stuff down below 512. Not typically, depending where you live again, not typically fire and EMS. They've all gone up there, yes, in the big cities. Okay. Here's a place you can go. I mentioned this many times. This is a great website for frequency information. RadioReference.com. And there are several things that I really didn't realize is you can go over here to databases, frequency databases. This again is going to help you find things that are on the air in your area. And so the easiest way is, and this is United States, of course, is to select one of these states. So we're just going to check Florida. So I clicked on Florida. Then you select a county that you want to find out what frequencies are available and who's on the air. So I'm going to select Pinellas County right here. Now it gives me a list. And this is not all-encompassing, and I'll show you what I mean in a few minutes. So here it lists some things. Here we go. Pinellas County, fire and EMS. Here's some frequencies. This is the emergency EMS, and they're additionally on these frequencies, which you can listen to. Not so much nowadays as they were. And then you can go down here and select a city. Like here's Dunedin. And here's Dunedin water and sewer. Now, you ask yourself, why would you want to listen to water and sewer? Because these people that work in these departments, they can get pretty comical. And maybe I'm weird. But it's just kind of interesting to hear what's going on. Solid waste, believe it or not, is pretty funny. And they talk about neighborhoods and stuff like that. It's pretty funny. And you got Pinellas County Schools. Now, I have a scanner that I have put all these in. And again, you're going to say, Tom, why do you want to listen to schools? It gets kind of interesting when they have problems with students. And if you had, I don't have anymore, but if you had children that were in these schools, you could get some inside information of what's happening at that school. So it's kind of interesting to listen to. Let me get a drink. So that's another thing you can listen to. You can listen to the schools. And then that's all it has. So there are a few other things here. And then down here is some trunking frequencies. But we're talking right now about scanners around $25. Only go up to 525 megahertz because the trunking here is all up higher frequencies. Now, I'll digress for a moment. I have that radio I showed you, that Pro 97, is trunking capable, analog, and it'll go up to close to a gigahertz. Down here, see if I can find it. Oh, where is it? My vision is so bad. Oh, right here, Duke Energy. That's our local power company. When we have storms and our power goes out, I listen to this station or whatever because I can hear firsthand from the workers what's going on as far as fixing the power outages. So, and when my power goes out, I want to know what is going on. So I listen to that. But it is trunking. It does require a scanner that will do that. Anyway, let's go back. Okay, back to that back. We'll do back. Now, you say, well, Tom, there wasn't much stuff there. Well, here's something that I just found today that I didn't realize it. And let's see, where is it? I thought it was right here. Oh, maybe I have to go up another level. All right, I lost it already. Frequency database. Nationwide frequencies. Maybe that's it. Gosh, no, that's not what I wanted. Oh, boy. Ooh, do I have to start this show over because I lost my way? Latest updates? No, that's not it either. Okay, Tom, you've lost it. Where'd it go? It wasn't on this page because it wasn't. Oh, yeah, it was. Yes, it was. It was you. I did go down and I selected my state. And man, this is aggravating. It's it's hell to get old when you forget things so easily. Downloads and reports. I don't want downloads and reports. Okay, let's pick Pinellas County. Ah, there it is. Okay. Wow. Why? It's not where. See, that's why I've never found this before, because it's not where I expected it to be. But once you drill down to a county that you're interested in, you can select FCC licenses. Like I say, I didn't know this existed. And of course, you can go directly to the FCC license website, but it's a little more difficult to get around. Now, I'll come down here to where it says display all FCC license in Pinellas County. So it's my area. And if you're listening to VHF and UHF, you're only going to hear things close by. You're not going to hear things very far away. That's another thing I should have mentioned earlier, is it's very important that, depending on your location again, to have a good outside antenna. When I say a good outside antenna, it doesn't have to be an expensive outside antenna. A simple disc cone antenna, or even a simple ground plane antenna that you can build yourself for, under $20 will help. The key thing is getting that antenna up in the air, because VHF, UHF is what I call line of sight communications. So your antenna has to see electronically the antenna of the transmitter you're trying to hear. So that's one of the key things. If you're, and this is not, like I say, this is not absolutely true, but if you want to hear some of these stations are, say, 25 miles away or even 10 miles away, you're going to have an outside antenna. You're not going to be able to use the telescopic antenna that comes with the radio. You might be able to, again, depending on your location, but most likely you're not going to hear much. And that could be what some of these people are having problems with, is they don't have that outside antenna. Anyway, let's go back. So we display all the FCC licenses in Pinellas County. And this goes on. It's like, well, it's at least 12 pages, and it might go beyond that. Let me see if I click this little. No, that's just next page. I want to see if I can go to the end page. Maybe it's only 12 pages, but look at this. Now, granted, some of these are up in the higher frequency. This is the city of Clearwater. These are all higher frequencies. Let's see if we can get away from the city of Clearwater. Oh, here's the schools again. Dunedin High Middle. God, I'll get it right in a minute. Dunedin Highland Middle School. 453. So on that scanner I showed you, and most of these scanners, they will tune up to 512 megahertz. So you could get this one. Here's the city of Dunedin. It's down in these lower frequencies. And then here's the Department of Corrections, which is up in the higher frequencies. Here's the state of Florida. I don't know what's on these. But you can program these into your scanner, the ones that are down below 512 megahertz, and just listen in and find out what's going on. Here's PCSB Clearwater Fundamental Middle School. That's not far from me, so I've been able to pick that up. And I have my setup with this radio right here is that radio and a disc cone antenna up about 15 feet in the air. And I can get about, depending on the direction, because I got trees all around me, I can get about 20 to 25 miles. That's all. That's all, because it's not high enough, and I've got trees all around me, so that's a problem. Now, if you go to the beach or someplace where there's no trees around you, then you can use your telescopic antenna and it'll work fine. Now, the other thing is, you don't have to have a table one. You can have a handheld one. So, maybe I'm weird. So anyway, this goes on and on and on. And, you know, it's like, let's see, let's go to page 12. I'm just trying to see if, yeah, it's only 12 pages. And it appears it's in I think it's in alphabetical order. So here's various cities near me: Bel Air, town of Bel Air, Treasure Island, and look at these frequencies. Now, the one thing this database doesn't tell you, it doesn't tell you what exactly that frequency is used for. Doesn't tell you that, unfortunately. Now, here's one. Here's St. Petersburg High School. That's quite a while away from me. I doubt if I could pick that up. Now, the other thing you can do, again, I didn't realize this until 20 minutes ago, you can turn off and on what you want it to show you. For instance, right now it's got turned off. It's got aircraft and marine frequencies turned off. Now, if I just wanted to show that, I'd go turn everything else off. Well, that's already off. I turned it on. It's a dummy. So there's actually, let me go, before I do that, I'm sorry, it's getting kind of lost. I'll turn everything on. See how many pages we have. Okay. Okay, turn that one on. Okay, now they're all on. And there's like 90 pages at least. So this is all the stuff that's out there around you, close by. Here's one that I've listened to in the past, and I haven't listened to in a while, is the AAA Auto Club. The people that come out and when your car breaks down, stuff like that, if you're a member, they get your car started or they tow you away. I used to listen to that a lot because it was really comical. I mean, these people that came out to service cars, they would call back and said, I can't believe this idiot. He locked his keys in his car. This is the 4th time I've been out here this month. You know, it's just wild. Here's ABC Liquor. I wonder what that is. You look at these things, you go, whoa, what is that? So that makes it, to me, that makes it interesting. Find out what these things are. Plug them in a scanner, listen to them for a while. Maybe there won't be much activity. And so that's the beauty of a scanner radio, is you can plug in, 100 frequencies and have it scan those other frequencies. And then you can, like on this radio, you can program in, say, 100 frequencies. And then let it scan. And say it keeps stopping at a certain channel. And that channel is just putting out digital data. We can hit the lockout button, and it locks out that channel, and then it scans the rest of them. So eventually, you can lock out the ones that you found out that are just either digital data or they're just no good. Then you can go back and reprogram the scanner of the ones you like, or the ones that sound interesting. Like I programmed when I had all the schools programmed in. I think there were about 60 channels I programmed in, and I quickly learned that some of them were just too far away. I couldn't hear them, so I locked those out. So then it got down to it was only scanning maybe 25. And then, of course, you can, when you get an active one, something's interesting going on, some kids threatening the students with a gun or something, you can have it stop on that channel and leave it there. Anyway, so this is where you can get information about things that are available in your area. You can see this, let's get pretty big. Now, what I was going to do is I was going to zoom in on aircraft and marine, just see what it has. So let's turn all these other ones off. Oh, seeing broadcast, that's another thing that's in this database is the local, like baseball stadiums, like the Tampa Bay Rays baseball stadium down in St. Pete. There's some frequencies for that. And so you can find out, or you can listen to what's going on there. It's probably security. It's probably what it is. Okay, let's turn some more of these off. Narrow it down. So you can play with this database. Now, so this is now only showing aircraft and marine. So here's America Marine Services. Not sure what that is. Here's Aviation Spectrum Resources. So city, oh, here's the city of St. Pete, little airport, their little Alfred Woodard Airport. There's the frequencies right there. Yacht Club, Clearwater, Duke Energy. So there's some more Duke Energy that I didn't know about that are down at 156 megahertz. Now, a lot of these down in 156 megahertz are businesses, such as Duke Energy. Here's Eckerd College, Maximum Marina. That's a long ways from me. I probably wouldn't be able to pick that up. So anyway, you can see what's here. The other thing, and the last thing that I'll mention that you can do is you can, and I couldn't find one right offhand, you can, there's a website that'll show you the general bands and what they're used for, like a business band. So I'm just going to use some numbers that are not necessarily correct. There's a business band around 450 megahertz, and you'd have to look up to find out exactly what it is. But you can set up these scanners, like this one, to search a range. And so you could set it up for like the business band and have it search that range for stuff that maybe you wouldn't find in this database I showed you. You know, maybe it's for some reason it's missing. And so I've done that and found some very interesting things going on in those bands. So, because there's a lot of businesses, such as, I'm trying to think of a business, like a company that installs security equipment. They could be on one of these bands below 512. Now, again, a lot of those have gone to cell phones, so they're not on radios, but some of them still on radio. So that's something else you can look for. Okay, I think I babbled long enough. Though this is one chart that I was going to show you. I didn't realize it was on there. You can get this this chart right here, a laminated chart of all the spectrum, like from 2 hertz to 100 gigahertz or something like that. Let me click on one of these. Yeah, still don't get a good picture. Yeah, it's still too small. But you can get one of these. I don't think they've been updated in a while. I think the one I saw, and you can also find these on the internet and download them and print them on your printer. But there's a lot of data packed in here, so that might not come out so good. But you can get that for the allocation of all the frequencies in the United States. And it'll give you these segments here of like business bands, aircraft bands, so on. So this is handy. I didn't realize that you could get these from Amazon. So I'm going to put this in my Amazon store. I don't have one. I don't know how good it is. I sent an email to this particular salesperson or company and ask them what's the date of the publication, because these might be old. I don't think they've been updated in a while. I'm not sure. Anyway, that's it. Hopefully that answers some questions that people have been asking me lately about older scanner radios that you can find on eBay. Like I said, there is a ton of them. And just watch out. Don't get one that uses crystals. There's my Pro 97. This is a nice rate. $25. Whoa, and $9 shipping. If that, and you have to check very closely on these people that are selling on eBay. They might have a radio that's a dud, so you got to check very closely. But if I didn't already have two of those, I'd bid on this one, depending on, what the condition is. Let me just see what it says. Then go down here and see if it says perfect work condition. Oh, it doesn't tell you. Oh, here it is. Well, we'll need programming. Yeah, sure. Condition is used, and he doesn't say whether it works perfect or not, but it looks in good condition. $25, that is a steal. You can see, so people are watching it, and it's going to expire. Oh, buy now is $77. That's still not a bad price, but not as good as $25. And this is very common. There's a nice picture of it. Okay. Anyway, if you enjoyed the show, please give me a thumbs up and have a great day. Bye-bye.